Hello, you're watching The Market Bull. I'm Rebecca Marsh. It's been a huge week for the ASX listed Latin Resources with news of a takeover by Pilbara Minerals. Here to tell us more is Latin Resources Managing Director, Chris Gale. Chris, welcome.
Thanks, Rebecca. Thanks very much.
Chris, I'll get you to summarise the key aspects of the Pilbara takeover.
The takeover offer is via a scheme arrangement. So for every Latin share, Pilbara have offered 0.07 Pilbara shares, which means 100 Latin shares, you'll get 7 Pilbara shares. The closing price on the 14th of August was 12 cents. That is basically the equivalent of 20 cent Latin share price or 65% premium to the closing price and a 57% premium to the 10-day VWAP.
So why should shareholders accept Pilbara Minerals' offer?
Rebecca, if you believe in the long-term future of lithium over the next 5, 10, 20 years, you must believe in Pilbara Minerals being Australia's #1 lithium producer, one of the world's best lithium producers. So our shareholders will be accepting scrip in an ASX top 50 company, more liquidity, strong balance sheet, expertise in lithium. So that is a very, very strong, I suppose, positive reason why they should be accepting the offer. I think our shareholders have got to remember that 12 months ago, Pilbara was $5 a share. 3 months ago, they're $4 a share. Today, they're $3. I mentioned earlier, $3 equivalent to 20 cents. If they go back to $4, that's 28 cents equivalent Latin. So it is quite compelling for our shareholders to accept the offer.
So how did the Latin Resources board come to its conclusion to recommend?
One of the board's roles is to mitigate risk, to measure risk and ensure that risk is lower to our shareholders. The lithium market was getting really tough and is still tough. Lithium prices were dropping, other major producers were cutting back, funding was looking difficult in some areas. But for us, it's about now having a company that has proven expertise in construction, development and offtake. They have had many discussions around offtake agreements. So that was part of our role, was to look at the risk moving forward, or do we bring in a big brother like Pilbara to help us get through this development stage? But, remember, we're Explorer 2 years ago, and now a developer. To move into production is really hard. But now having Pilbara there, we've taken a whole lot of risk out of this transaction and the development of Salinas.
So why doesn't Latin Resources consider raising the development capital and progressing the asset itself?
We did look at that, and we looked at that. We had Macquarie Bank run our offtake process, and we had some very good offtake offers on the table, albeit difficult in this climate to try and negotiate offtakes where the lithium price is so low. The major issue we're finding with debt funding was really perhaps going to be long term to get that actually closed, and we wanted to look at starting construction next year. The other aspect is that our share price was, as I said earlier, was being hammered with little or no support whatsoever, and we were looking at raising a fair bit of equity to contribute to that project development at a very low price. I was thinking this is going to be sub 10 cents. It's a real problem here for future raisings to actually build the project. So that was all taken in consideration as we worked through the Pilbara transaction.
Do you think a competing proposal will emerge?
Look, I don't know, Rebecca. I've been asked that question a few times. As I said earlier, the lithium market's quite depressed. The bigger companies are cutting back. They're conserving cash, so I don't know. The one thing I will say is that what really attracted us to Pilbara was taking their shares, their scrip, in lieu of the consideration. So for us, it's about taking paper from a major ASX top 50 company, and I attribute it to something like swapping out Latin's very good undervalued shares for Pilbara's excellent undervalued shares, which shows us some great upside in the future.
So Chris, what are the interim funding arrangements between Latin Resources and Pilbara Minerals?
We've noted previously that we want to get early work started We want to move on to the development of the roads, upgrade the roads. We want to get the power line started to the plant, and also the pipeline. We want to start construction of the pipeline. So that needed some cash. Pilbara were really good in offering us $10 million so we could get through that, and so we could start that while this process, it's a 3-month process to get the deal concluded. So that was a great gesture from Pilbara and really well accepted.
And what are the next steps in the transaction?
Yeah, look, this is around a 3-month process. We've got to get an independent experts report, which we've started on. There's got to be a scheme booklet put together by our lawyers. It's got to be approved by the courts. Takeover's got to be approved by the courts. We're looking at concluding, getting a shareholders meeting around mid to November and have the transaction concluded by the end of November.
Chris, exciting times ahead for Latin Resources. Thank you.
Absolutely, Rebecca. Thank you very much.